Once I was happy with my shape, I started outlining all of my lines with a biro pen. I love biro and I always use biro, but if you have a fine liner pen or a handwriting pen, it might be easier to use those because your lines will end up thicker and a little bit more in the style of the face maker. Now, I went round all of my lines and then rubbed it out. And the reason that I do this is because I knew I was using pencil crayon to colour it in, and the graphite from your pencil can sometimes ruin the colours of your pencil crayons. So you get much cleaner colours if you go over it in pen and then rub out your pencil lines. And I really like colour, so that was one of the things that I was really concentrating on. I also added a couple more patterns just to add a little bit more to the picture. So now I've got my face and I've gone over it in biro. I'm quite happy with it. I might change some things about it when I'm colouring. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So I've chosen my colours. I am using like a little hot colour palette. So kind of those hot colours there. And then I'm mixing them with three of the colours that he uses quite a lot. So turquoise, purple and green, because I really like that. And I wanted the contrast. So I've got my kind of pinks there and then a yellow, but the yellow will contrast really well with the purple and the pinks will contrast really nicely with the turquoise and the green. You want really sharp pencils. These aren't really sharp enough and that one's about to go. So you want really sharp pencils when you start off colouring, and you want a really, really, really good quality of colour. So press on nice and hard, but make sure that it's really nice and neat. When I'm adding colour, I tend to start off in the areas that I want to stand out the most. So I started with the yellow in the eyes because I thought that would make it pop. Then I put the purple, so a contrasting colour, next to that yellow to make it sing a little bit more. And I quite like the use of really dark colour, and that purple is my only really dark colour I've got. So I like the use of really dark colour in big blocks. Then I built up the rest of the colour just quite naturally, really, like how I fancied it. I tried to put the similar colours next to each other quite a lot. So I used that blue and the light pink combination, the turquoise and the light pink combination quite a bit. As you are adding colour, have a look and see if you want to change anything about your design, because you still can absolutely change the patterns or add more patterns, like change the way it feels by using colour in different ways. So I don't do a lot of this, but you could blend two colours together, making an ombre, and that makes a completely different effect. You could try different colour combinations. You could add pattern using colour. You could think about when I was doing this, I was thinking about how I definitely have to go back into the drawing after I'd finished doing the colour to outline it a little bit more and add maybe some more pattern with pen, because at this point it is not looking as much like Wilf Dessent's work as I would like it to. So still keeping looking at the artist that you are drawing from is a really, really good idea, because obviously we're making work inspired by them, but also you can kind of see what you might need to do and see their process a little bit more and make sure that you are getting their key features into your work. So here I decided to slightly change the zigzag, so make it into almost a 3-section thing rather than a 2-section thing. You'll see when I add the colour in a second. And so I know that I've definitely got to go back into the drawing with pen and kind of make that transition a little bit more obvious. Okay, so now I'm happy with kind of my colours. I think if I were to do it again, then I would maybe do less green and just stick with the turquoise, but that's me being really fussy. What I'm going to do now is I am going to just go back in with my pen and thicken up some of these lines to make it look a little bit more like his work. So I thickened up all of my lines. I made sure that the areas that I wanted really dark were really dark. I also added in a few more lines and a few more patterns. So I added a few more lines in the pink stripy section on the cheek, and then I also put in more lines within the iris. I think once I'd got my lines standing out a little bit more, it looked much more like the face maker's work or Wilf Dessent's work. So I was much happier with it. I also I was really careful to go around everything and think about where I was adding in pattern. So I really thickened up certain lines, and some lines I didn't touch. So like the sort of frilly section, I suppose, on the forehead, I didn't change. So now I've got my face that I've just drawn up here, which I'm really happy with. I've got my title bang in the middle of the page, and then I've done another drawing, so I've got the flow going across the page. I've then got an area here that I can put some writing, and an area here that I can put some writing. So because I didn't know what this page was going to look like, that's why I think it's important to do the research first and then get all of your presentation done, and then you can put your writing where it fits. So yeah,